So, veteran umpire in the Major League Baseball, CB Buckner, who has been terrible over his career, had a pretty difficult game during the Reds and Red Sox extra inning where the Reds did defeat Boston, unfortunately, with six, Mike, of his calls being overturned by the new ABS challenge system. The Reds successfully challenged all five of their attempts while Boston went 1-for-3. And this highlights Buckner's inconsistent strike zone pretty much throughout his whole career.
Yeah.
Tensions also rose when a controversial check swing strikeout call against Trevor Story was made without consulting another umpire. That obviously led to visible frustration and the ejection of the Red Sox manager, Alex Cora. Despite the rough outing, Cora acknowledged that the umpires are human, and Buckner himself appeared to recognize his mistakes. You know, Mike, there are people out there who believe that the ABS system could be exposing Major League umpires. But if anybody heard my rant after the Dominican-US game, Major League Baseball umpires have been ruining baseball and making it about themselves for years. And I'll tell you what, watching Buckner's face when Suarez made his second tap in his second ABS challenge, he had this look of defeat on his face. I was watching the John Boy breakdown of it, and he was basically saying, like, Buckner had this look as if to say, man, like, I have no control in this game like I used to. I'm supposed to control this game. And I think it's absolutely amazing that they finally brought this technology into baseball. I honestly believe that they have the technology that you don't need an umpire behind home plate ever, and that you're able just to have the guy stand there and just get told ball, strike, because there's nothing worse than a game being decided because of a bad umpire. And I know that I'm one of these people that are like, I will never blame a referee or an umpire for a win or a loss because other things need to happen. However, in tight games, you don't want to even mention or know who the umpire or referee is. It's actually amazing to me because you think about like the bad NFL refs and you can name every single one of them. But if I told you to name me all the best refs in the NFL, you probably couldn't name them, because I think if you are invisible and nobody knows who you are, you're probably doing a good job as an official in whatever respective sport that you're a part of. And I do believe that umpires, referees, whatever sport you may talk about, I believe that they should be held accountable for their mistakes. And I've said that on so many different occasions. How often does a player make a mistake and have to stand in front of the media for like 25 minutes explaining that same mistake over and over again? And yet umpires, referees, they can blow calls, they can turn games around, and they say absolutely nothing. I'm reminded of New England versus Kansas City and N'Keal Harry finally scoring a touchdown for the Patriots, turning a game around that was pretty tight, and the referee saying that they stepped out of bounds. Now, I can make the same argument and say Bill Belichick lost 2 challenges and had no challenges left. So that's kind of on the coach for making bad challenges in the past. But why do we even have to be there? How can you be that incompetent at your job that you can't see a guy 2 feet away from the out of bound line? And I think that it's absolutely atrocious when referees and a referee's decision or an umpire's decision is discussed after a game and that it had any kind of bearing on an outcome, even if it didn't. And that's all people can talk about. And I think that when you break it all down and you look at officials and you look at this new ABS system, I think that it's something that every league should be looking at. How can you make officials better? I think that for a lot of times you can take the officials out of the game. It can all be done by eyes in the skies and robots and all that kind of fun stuff.